at rickedelman.com, spelled ricedelman.com, or talk with an Edelman advisor at 888-PLAN-REC. That's 888-PLAN-REC.
Advisory services offered through Edelman Financial Services, LLC. Securities offered through Sanders Morris Harris, Inc., an affiliated broker-dealer. Member FINRA SIPC.
If you've been putting off getting a hair restoration, listen up. This is what you've been waiting for. DeStefano Hair Restoration Center's Individual Graft Technique, or IGT, is a highly advanced, scar-free procedure that moves your own hair one follicle at a time without the use of scalpels or stitches, giving you a denser, a more natural look. DeStefano Hair Restoration Center is the only practice in New England that performs this unique IGT procedure. In fact, doctors fly in from around the world to observe their techniques. Call now for your free IGT consultation. Financing is available with payments as low as $119 a month. IGT is suitable for all hairstyles. It's less invasive with no scalpels, no stitches, no pain, and no visible scarring. So you can be back to work the next day. Plus, it's affordable on just about any budget. Call 1-800-560-HAIR to learn more. That's 1-800-560-HAIR. Call 1-800-560-HAIR or visit hairman.com for details.
WBZ Newtown 337. Rescue officials have said all along that the successful capture of Johar Tsarnaev would never have happened without help from the public. Take Bob Leonard of Thompson, an amateur photographer who's taken pictures of the marathon for years. In no exception, Leonard was at the finish line Monday and found several pictures of the Tsarnaev brothers on his memory card. He sent them to the FBI.
Now, normally, if they just kept walking, I might only have one or two pictures on it, but shooting up the street or down the street, I realized that did not happen. So, in between Whiskey's and the Back Bay Social Club, there was actually a green umbrella, and in there is where they sort of back into the corner. There may be, a whole bunch of people in front of them, but every now and then there was a break in the crowd, and, sometimes you only see part of them, and then sometimes they're actually looking right at the camera.
And Leonard's photos were among the best images of the Tsarnaev brothers investigators obtained. WBZ Newtown 238, I'm now for Market Talk.
Twitter is taking its ads to a whole new level, and it's personal this time. The Wall Street Journal's Digits blog reports Twitter is now letting advertisers tailor their messages based on what users are writing in their posts. For example, a pizza ad could pop into your Twitter feed if you tweet, "I'm hungry," or if you tweet a negative comment about a hotel, you won't see ads from that chain. Twitter has already been targeting ads, but till now, it's been more indirect, based on which Twitter accounts you follow or which messages you recirculate. Now, Twitter is doing the same kind of keyword targeting that Google does, and that's helped make it into a $50 billion a year business. There are risks, though. Digits notes Twitter has until now been cautious about selling ads that users or advertisers might find intrusive or unwanted, and it's not clear how Twitter users will respond, although Twitter executives say they tested the new ads and signals are positive. Adrian Mitchell, MarketWatch.com on WBZ News Radio 1030.
WBZ Newtown 239. Well, with all that's happened over the last week, how do parents put everything in the right perspective for their children? WBZ's Ben Parker talked with Susan Swift, chief of child psychology at Wellesley Hospital.
Adolescents and older adolescents, just like us adults, I think are going to have a bigger need to really thinking about this and trying to understand it, trying to make sense of it. Younger children are going to have a lot of worries, a lot of questions. In a way, that's how school-age children cope, and younger children, too. They cope by doing things, but they may not even want to do things that have anything to do with the events of the last week. They may want to just go back and play soccer or do drawings. And it's wonderfully important to step back and let them go at their pace, coming and going. But at the same time, just to stay a little extra attuned to the idea that they may be a little more worried than usual. So at the moments where they're most likely to talk. For some kids, that's the car, when everyone's facing the same direction and not looking eye to eye. For some kids, it's bedtime, or it's bedtime, or at the table. But for parents to be mindful of those times when their kids are most likely to talk, to just be ready to be curious with them, to ask how was their day, to be tuned into questions that suggest that they're still thinking about this, whether it's about the boy who died, whether it is about the police officer who died, or it's more broadly about how can people set off bombs at events that are supposed to be celebratory and heroic.
Yeah, and it's not for speaking, I guess it's something
I always talk about how parents really are the experts on their children. So anything an expert tells you about children, you take with a grain of salt because you know your children. But most studies have shown that in one area, parents do tend to underestimate how much anxiety their children have. Because anxiety is a private symptom. It's a feeling that most people keep inside. So it's very possible that kids are going to have a little more anxiety than usual. And I think to some degree, letting them keep the light on is fine. And check in with them. Be curious. Find out, is there anything that's got you worried about that? Or why are you asking that question? What has got you thinking about that? Those kind of open-ended, unpacking detective questions are really helpful.
WBZ News Time 241. That was Susan Swick, Chief of Child Psychology at Wellesley Hospital. Well, there's lots going on for sports fans this afternoon. Some hockey, some baseball. Charlie Bergeron has it all from the AceTicket.com sports studio.
Thank you, Art. Bruins and the Florida Panthers, third period of the Garden. Bruins a 2-0 lead. Jaromir Jagr in the first, Dougie Hamilton in the second. And Hamilton spoke with the Bruins' Dave Gosher on 98.5 the Sports Hub between periods 2 and 3 to talk about his score.
I saw most of the guys spoke over to Z and just put it through. I think somebody tipped it, but I don't know how it went in either. I think from my angle, looked like they hit the post, but it doesn't matter now.
That's Bruins Dougie Hamilton on 98.5 the Sports Hub. Tuukka Rask right down the shutout in the Bruins net. About 11 minutes to go in the third. Red Sox in Kansas City playing game 1 of the day-night doubleheader. They're in the 4th inning, and the Red Sox have a 2-1 lead. Ryan Dempster pitching for the Red Sox against Urban Santana. And G tonight has rookie Alan Webster making his major league debut against Jeremy Guthrie and the Royals at the 7 o'clock start. Celtics and Knicks will play game 2 of their best-of-7 series in New York on Tuesday night. Celtics down 1-0 tonight. Charlie Bergeron, WBZ Sports.
Whatever they thought they could ultimately achieve, they've already failed. They failed because the people of Boston refused to be intimidated. This is WBZ News Radio 1030. WBZ News Time 2:43. Traffic and weather together. The Subaru dealers of New England all-wheel drive traffic on the 3s. And once again, here's Don Boudreau.
And they're working to clear a breakdown on the Callahan Tunnel midway through. Also, right lanes taken to Manville